What up? What up? What up? Another week, another day, another dollar. I am here in Kansas City, ready to take on the world. Good to see all these guys. And I'm headed to the other Kansas City team tomorrow, and then the Alexandria team on Wednesday. So, really excited to see a bunch of you. I've got my trip to Florida booked for the pretty much the first week of June, and I'm gonna try to make it to Columbus and St. Louis in the middle of this trip and that trip. So super excited to see all the reps. After I visit all those teams, I will have officially visited all of the teams once. And then I get the fun task of coming back around to say hi to as many of you as I possibly can. So I love seeing you guys. I'm so proud of our group, so proud of our team. We're ramping up every day. Every day gets a little bit better, and every day I feel like we're working harder and we're making progress. And I want to talk a lot about that today. But first, some shout outs. Let me share my screen here. I know the screen's always kind of hard to see, but helps me be able to stay on track. So this is a daily stat. As of right now, this second, we have Jack, who is in obviously Fort Worth. He's at 4K, so Jack's on another heater. Mary Reed, who just finished her first bodybuilding competition. Congratulations, Mary. She's back to eating some carbs, feeling great. She's at 3K. Congratulations, Mary. Super cool to see. We've got Drew Massey. He's our top rookie on the day so far. Drew's at 3,054. Now it's 6:09 p.m. here in Kansas City. It's 6:09 in Fort Worth. In San Diego, it's only 4:09. So Mary's just coming back from lunch, and she is due for a very big day. And then Caden Hutchins, also in Chicago, rookie number 2 at 3,010. So congratulations to everyone on the success so far today. Let's quickly review some stats from last week. Last week was our biggest week so far this summer. We did just shy of $1.5 million as a partnership last week. That is huge. I'm really hoping that we can keep ramping up, and collectively, all together, we can get close to $2 million a week. I think that's possible. It's going to take some significant effort from all of us. It's going to take us getting a little better, improving our closing ratios, working a little bit later. I say this every week. I'll say it again. It's hard to do hard things alone. Excuse me, it's much easier to do hard things when you're doing them with a group. So I love the fact that we're all in this together. We're all working hard. You guys are surrounded by people doing the same thing, and every single day we're going to get a little bit better. Now, last week, our top rep was Jack Ray, 33,045. He edged Alex Moises by just over $600. Well, just under $600. Congratulations, Jack, on being the top rep. Jack with an 89.3% sales to service ratio. I gotta give some props to our guy Jack. Early on in the season, his service to sales was below 80%, and he has slowly gotten better and better and better until he's one of the best right now. Jack had a 68% same day service ratio, and that's a big reason why partly why his sales to service has gotten so much better is because he's same daying almost 3/4 of his accounts. Now, word to the wise and a lesson to all of you who want to go big in the future. Jack did a great job, and he's recruited essentially his own tech at this point. So they are ripping and gripping and crushing it. Jack's contract value is of 1322. Part of the reason why he can sell such a high CV is probably because he does have his own tech, and he knows that that tech is going to go above and beyond and do an awesome job. His last knock is at 8:58 p.m., and he sold exactly zero 12-month agreements. He had 76% of his contracts as a 24-month, so he's setting himself up to receive a giant, giant bonus. Congratulations, Jack. Now, a lot of you, and this is on my list of things to talk about as well, but a lot of you, and as a partnership, we've gotten way better these last couple weeks at selling more 24 months and less 12 months. In fact, last week was our lowest 12-month percentage of the year and our highest 24-month percentage of the year. So as a partnership, we're getting way better. Jack is still head and shoulders above, and it's because he's pushing this really hard and he understands the benefit. Here in Kansas City, I did the math with the team this morning. But essentially, and obviously, some of these are going to cancel. So some of them you're going to get paid two of the multi-year payments, three of the multi-year payments, etc. Not all of them are going to stay active. But those accounts that stay active, that you sell a 24-month agreement versus a 12-month agreement, if it's a $1,000 contract, which is exactly what our average is right now, it is a 14% increase on the commission that you receive, those bonuses that you get. And obviously those come later, but they are very, very real. So you want to make extra money, you want to increase your earnings, sell multi-years. It's effectively a 14% increase on the commissions that you earn, which for some of you that end up working your way up the pay scale, making a 50, 60% commission, our golden door winners, Jack and Alex, I'm really hoping can hit it, get a 75% commission. That puts them close to a 90% commission when you factor in that multi-year, which is unbelievable. Our average rookie is going to earn somewhere around a 35% commission. That's putting them close to a 50% commission on their multi-year agreements. So they are valuable, they're important, they're clutch, they're good. Please push those very, very hard. Now, Alex, Mr. Consistency. Guys, this was Alex's first 30K week. That is unbelievable. Alex has been just a picture of consistency. He did 32K this last week, best week of the summer. What's cool though is Alex is over 260K in service revenue. He's been incredibly consistent. Almost every week has been over 20K. Almost every week his sales to service ratio has been upper 80%. He's at 88% this week. 42% same days, 1,044 ACV, 924 average last knock, 78% 24-month contracts. Alex is just crushing it. Malachi, he's been a consistent front runner as well. Malachi with 22K, 95% sales to service ratio. He's got the best sales to service out of those guys, and it's with less same days. So we got to get Malachi some more same days. He's ramping up and absolutely incredible. Adam Tillman, 20K, just a casual average 20K week for Adam. 100% sales to service ratio, 45% same days. I talk about this all the time, but Adam will not be outworked. 10:59 a.m. first knock, 9:05 p.m. last knock. That's while helping a bunch of his reps learning to sell and getting them going and helping manage and lead the team. Congratulations, Adam. Truly incredible. Now, I'm going to give this guy a shout out in just a minute, Ryan, because he's our top rookie. I got to jump to my guy, Justin Rosier. Justin, and I'm probably butchering his last name. I'm real life friends with this guy, and his last name just confuses the heck out of me. He's a mediocre golfer, but an incredible salesman. Justin with a 19K week, 100% sales to service ratio. Incredible, man. Can't wait to see you on Wednesday and hopefully get some good food and rip some doors and make it happen. Super proud of you. Dane Lapine at 18,700. Dane did 300K last year as a sophomore, and he's only going to keep getting better. So congratulations, Dane. Keep wrapping up. Now let's look at our rookies. I spoiled the celebration a little bit a minute ago, but Ryan in San Diego, he was the top rookie a couple weeks ago. He's top rookie again, 19,964. That's our top rookie week so far this year. Ryan had a 100% sales to service ratio, 11:01 a.m. average first knock, 8:29 p.m. average last knock, 60% 24-month agreements, 52 DMs a day. $5,000 of his revenue came from Saturday. So you guys want the secret? Work hard every day of the week. Ryan did 25% of this 20K on Saturday. A lot of our rookie sales reps that are right there neck and neck with Ryan, like Jackson in Columbus, didn't have as big of a Saturday. And had they had as big of a Saturday, they would have been even closer. So congratulations to Ryan for working hard and making Saturday a big priority and being our top rookie. Now, Jackson in Columbus, 15,724. Incredible, man. Huge numbers. 94% sales to service, 905 average last knock, only 25%, 12 months. Really, really incredible week, Jackson. Jarek Harris in San Diego. Jarek's my guy, stud. 15K week, 100% sales to service. Jarek had our earliest first knock of these rookie groups. So he's getting right out there. His first knock is at 10:31 a.m. He's beating most of our sales reps by 15 to 20 minutes minimum. Jarek, one area that you could do a little bit more of is those late night knocks, even if it's just setting go backs at 8:30 or later. It's a great spot to be. Congratulations, man. Mark Workman in Memphis, stud. Mark with the 14,784 week. He was the top rookie at Aptive one day and got that great shout out. Congratulations, Mark. Bo Compton. Bo is becoming very familiar with this. Nearly 14K on the week. One area that Bo could make a little improvement is sales to service. Always be cognizant. These guys that are at the top of the charts almost always have a near perfect sales to service ratio. They're saving the accounts while they're with the customer. They're doing the call pilot. They're getting them done. Congratulations, Bo, on a great week. Presley Hayden, 13,865, 89% sales to service. One area that Presley could make a little improvement is that contract value. He's at an 816. So you can see the difference between Mark and Presley is $400. So Presley actually sold like 3 or 4 accounts more than Mark, but because Mark's CV was so much bigger at a 1232, he did almost $2,000 more in service revenue. Congratulations, Presley, on a huge week. I know that if you can bump that up just a little bit, it'll add an extra 1,500 bucks, $2,000 to your total contract. That's some big earnings on the summer. Adrian. Adrian is now officially our top rookie. He's crossing 80K in service revenue today. He's near 100K, and if he does what he did last week again, he'll be close to 100K by this time next week. Adrian with a 13K week. Daniel Osorio in San Antonio with an 11,500 week. Brian Stevens in Fort Lauderdale with an 11,400 week. Ismael Torres in San Antonio with a $10,200 week. Guys, we had 10 rookies for the first time this summer over 10K. That is huge. That is monstrous. That is something to be very, very proud of. Now, when we look at the teams, San Diego took our top team in revenue spot. They did 192K. So, Chicago, you guys need to take that personal and you need to chase them back down. San Diego and Alexandria and Fort Lauderdale, two, and Memphis all had an above 7K team RPR. Above 7K as a team is absolutely phenomenal. That's putting everyone on the team on pace as an average. Obviously, there's going to be guys that do way more and there's going to be guys that don't hit it. But on average, that's putting the team on pace to hit team leader, which is such a cool thing. So you guys need to shoot for 7K, 7,500 as a team every single week. Monstrous. We had all but six of our teams. So we had about 70% of our teams above a $1,000 contract value. Our sales to service was the best that it's been this last week. We were at 85% as a partnership. We need to get that up closer to 90%. There's a couple outlier teams below 80%. And if we can get those guys up, we'll be there. Congratulations. Same day's getting better. I made this plea to you guys last week. I'll say it again. We need more high quality service pros in almost all of our teams. So help me recruit a few high quality service pros. We need them. 24 months, we had our highest percentage last week. So again, we're just getting better every week. That's what we want, and I'm really proud of it. Reminder that there's a huge bonus. It's like a 14% commission increase, essentially, on every 24-month account that you sell. And reminder that on those 12 months, there's a slight penalty. So it's an 11% penalty on the revenue. You want to sell as many 24 months as you possibly can. And I harp on this every week because I know that come September, come next year, when you guys are getting these residual payments, you're going to be really, really glad that you made these a priority. So please focus in on those 24 months. It's the best thing that we can do for Aptiv to help our long-term value. And guys, as you're with this company for longer, you become a small owner of a piece of Aptiv. Every single one of our team leaders is earning kind of some long-term incentive where we're a small percent owner of Aptiv. And that's a cool thing. So you really want to prioritize helping the company. And the best thing that we can do as sales reps is sell these 24 months. That's why they incentivize us. They give us a 14% bonus on any 24 month that we sell. Say the 24 a month, pitch them high, make it happen. It's going to be worth it. And then last knock, I wanted to mention that as well. Almost all of our teams, all but three, had an average last knock after 8 p.m. I want to challenge every single sales rep to work late this week. It's the best time to sell. If I had to pick 1 hour a day to knock, it would be from 7:30 to 8:30. If I had to pick 2 hours a day, it would be from 7 to 9. Those are the best times to knock. So don't shortchange yourself. Make sure that you're working late, even if it's just setting go backs at 8:30 or later. Push hard, go to those go backs, close one, get the sales. It's worth it. The extra inches that we need are everywhere. I talk about that every week. The inches that we need are everywhere. So please fight for it. Please make it happen. We need all hands on deck. Okay, I have a couple really quick announcements and then a good story and some training that I want to share with everyone. Announcement number one, I've knocked in a lot of areas and with a lot of you sales reps this summer and consistently, and I've had this problem myself, you run into areas with low service and it drains your iPad battery because constantly you're trying to pull up the bug sheet, you're trying to pull up the price chart, the customer's waiting. A lot of the times this turns into them giving you a smoke screen, going inside. You're like, okay, let me just show you what we're doing for the neighbors on the price. And you pull up the price sheet and then it's loading and you're like, oh crap, it's loading. Give me just a second, it's loading. And the guy goes, no, just don't worry about it, and shuts the door. Screenshot your price sheet and your bug chart. Okay. Easy, crazy, simple solution. Screenshot them. Instead of using the knocking app, use the photos. And so when you get to a customer, automatically you've got the photo pulled up. Awesome. Let me just show you what we're doing for the neighbors. So usually this first visit's $399. After that, we're monthly. It's just $109. Boom, you're into it. Okay. Really practical, simple tip, but I thought of it while I was out knocking with a guy. I remember that I used to do it. It's just been a little bit. Screenshot those things. It'll save your battery. It will help your efficiency. You're not going to be waiting on it to load all the time. Worth it. Okay. Screenshot your bug chart and price sheet. Practical tip number two. Uh, okay. Um, Make sure that you're doing momentum. They're giving away those polos. They're actually super cool. It's brown. You're going to look like a UPS worker. Everyone's going to answer the door. Make sure that you do momentum. Sharpen the saw. I talk about this every week. The inches that we need are everywhere. And momentum and these other rally and NZ videos are a big area where you can get that little edge, that little extra practice. So make sure you do momentum if you haven't. Um, Ramp up to Memorial Day. We're officially within like 2 weeks of Memorial Day happening. For those of you who haven't sold the previous summer, which is most of you, Memorial Day is the greatest day. I know we say that every day, but Memorial Day statistically is the greatest day to actually sell pest control. Everybody's home, everybody's barbecuing. It's kind of the peak of like, it's hot, but not too hot. It is an incredible day to sell pest control. Statistically, every year we have more big days on Memorial Day than any other day the rest of the summer. It is a phenomenal day to sell pest control. Okay. Get excited for Memorial Day. Do not go home to visit your families on Memorial Day. You want to be knocking your first door by 8:30 a.m. and your last door 9:30 p.m. Okay, we're going to have double digit days on Memorial Day. I truly believe that. We're going to have 10 or more people do 10K on Memorial Day. It is a massive, massive day to sell pest control. Every year, it's at least up to that point, our partnership's biggest day by a wide margin. Our biggest day so far is like 340K. To me, that puts us within striking range of 500K on Memorial Day. That's my goal. I'm saying it out loud and I'm committed. I want to make it happen. So fight tooth and nail. Get ready for Memorial Day. It's going to be huge. Um, okay. Now, here is the first little training piece of advice. And this is a practical story about some of our sales reps. So I've had a lot of conversations with, I mean, a bunch of you guys last week. Some rookies, some second year sales reps, some third year sales reps, some team leaders. And a consistent theme of those conversations has been comparing your production to so and so's. And I got to be careful how I say this. Competition can be an incredibly helpful thing. Okay. When I'm motivated and I'm working harder because I want to keep up with, Drip or Prime or whoever, that's okay. When we're going team to team and we've got our Active Cup matchups every Thursday, and you want our team to beat, St. Louis, or you want your team to beat Minneapolis or Detroit or whoever you're up against. Obviously, St. Louis is one of our teams. Sometimes our teams go up against each other, and those are even more fun. When competition helps you work harder, helps you push, helps you be disciplined, helps you be excited and have the energy to go out there, it's a great thing. In conversations with a lot of you, and again, this is team leaders down to very first year sales reps. If competition becomes something that is demotivating, it's not a good thing. Now you're like, well, when does competition become demotivating? Let me talk about that. So I have a lot of you coming to me and saying, like, hey, I'm not selling as well as so and so. And I'm really frustrated by that. And to be honest, like it just makes me not want to work. Another iteration of this, another version of this same issue is, I set my goal really high this year and I trained a ton this off season and I thought I could come out here and I thought that I could do 500K. And now I'm only on track for 250K. And it's just really demotivating. And I don't even like, just makes me not even want to work. And I'm just discouraged and I'm feeling beat up and I'm kind of depressed. And I've had that same conversation like 10 times over the last week. I'm not joking, like 10 of you and probably 7 of you the week before that. So it's a common theme. Okay. And I mean, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a therapist, but I have done this for a long time. I think salespeople tend to be very almost OCD, like definitely a little bit obsessive. And when we set our sights on something and then we don't get it, it's like infuriating. And either we figure out how to get it or we're like, well, I don't want that thing anyways. Like that seems to be a tendency behind salespeople. I know that I'm that way. I'm like, okay, I really want this. And then if I'm not allowed to have it or I can't get it or I'm too far away or whatever, it's just becomes not possible. I find a way to convince myself that I didn't actually want that thing, so that I didn't lose, so that I didn't fail, so that, my goal is now something different. And I want to just talk about that for just a second. You have to become okay with the best that you can do. Okay. It doesn't matter to me what Johnny does because I'm not Johnny. I don't have Johnny's life. Maybe Johnny is this just lucky individual who walks into this job and just off the bat, without even really training, he's selling 3 accounts a day. And I've been grinding for 6 months and I'm only selling 1 account a day. And it can infuriate me that Johnny is so good even though I practice and I'm better and I work harder and Johnny doesn't even work the hours. But guys, it's irrelevant. Okay. It doesn't matter what Johnny is capable of. It only matters what I'm capable of. This is a you versus you. And the competitions and the sales orgs and the benchmarks and the Instagram shoutouts, they're all fun. They're all cool. But at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is me versus me. And a lot of you set these goals. You set your goal at 300K or 400K or 500K, and it's just this arbitrary number. And if your goal was 500K, but you were within striking range of 600K, wouldn't you want to do 600K? If you set your goal at 200K and as a rookie, you're on pace to do 250K, are you going to slow down because you're like, nah, I only want to do 200K? No, of course. You're going to say, hey, I'm going to raise my goal. I'm going to try and get to 250K. So at the end of the day, and again, I got to be careful I say this because I don't want to create the wrong effect. But your goal isn't this arbitrary number that you just picked out of a hat. Your goal is to do as much as you possibly and humanly can. It is to become the best version of yourself, to be disciplined, to learn, to grow, to earn money. I had this conversation with the sales rep this last week. This is I'm not going to share the name, but I'm like, dude, you don't actually care about this accolade. What you care about is providing for your family and setting yourself up to have the best life possible. Am I wrong? And the sales rep's like, no, you're 100% right. Like, I mean, the goal is what I've said. It's important to me. Like, I want to get it. Achieving this accolade is important to me. But when I really zoom out, like, nah, yeah, I guess I don't really care about the goal. I care about providing for my family, giving my family the best life possible. That's the why behind the goal. And that's the important part. I'm like, okay, and if you could do more than your goal, like if you could overachieve it, if you could earn double somehow, wouldn't you want that? And they're like, well, yeah, of course I would. I'm like, okay, you don't necessarily control the outcome from this job, but you do control what you put in. The inputs are always within your control. Always. The outcomes, there's a lot of variables. Sometimes you're going to have bad weather. Sometimes you're going to have sales that get messed up by service pros. Sometimes you're going to have a neighborhood that, for whatever reason, is a little bit rougher. Sometimes you're not going to feel good and you're going to be sick. You can't necessarily control the outcome, but you can control the input. And if the outcome that you want isn't happening, don't let that determine what your inputs become. Okay. I had this conversation with Nate, my life coach. He spoke to a lot of us before the summer. Don't attach your identity to an outcome. Attach your identity to an input. So for example, for me, I'm not going to make my identity like, hey, I'm Garrett. I'm the guy who sells, $1 million in revenue. Like that's who I am. I have to be that person or else I'm a failure. I'm going to attach my identity to the idea of, hey, I'm Garrett and I'm going to have a $1 million work ethic, a $1 million training routine, a $1 million level of commitment. And every day, these are the 20 things that I'm going to do, and I'm never going to falter on that. And if I do those 20 things every day, that'll lead me on my path to 1 million. And man, maybe I only get to 750K or maybe I get to 1.2 million. But these are the 20 things that a $1 million rep would do, and I'm going to do them every single day. For a lot of you, your goal is to hit ETLB or hit team leader or whatever. These are all awesome goals. They're all important. They're all meaningful. Okay. You got to establish what it is that you want or what it is that will help you get there. Okay. I need to knock my first door by 10:50 a.m. I need to knock my last door at 8:45 p.m. I need to set a go back after that. I need to work later on Saturdays. I need to be training in the morning. I need to read the manual at night. I need to stay happy. And so in order to be happy, my diet's going to be this way. I'm going to call this person once a week to check in and boost my mood. I'm going to avoid these sales reps on the team that are negative. I'm going to delete social media on my phone during the day. All these habits, all these actions will help me reach my goal. And my goal is 150K. These are the actions that will help me get there. And 150K, while important, isn't the most important. The most important is the actions. And if I do the actions the right way, maybe I'll get to 200K. Maybe I'll only get to 125. But either way, I'm doing my best. Don't let competition become a negative. Don't let your goal become an anchor. Utilize these tools to improve and to be your best. But remember, everyone, your why, your reason behind doing this job is not to hit team lead. It's to provide the life that you want. It's to pay for school. It's to buy the car. It's to get ahead. It's to develop and learn a skill set that will pay you forever. It's to provide for your family. Whatever it is. I talked to Lance Bracken today. Hopefully, Lance is okay with me sharing this. But a big why for him this year is he needs to pay for back surgery, and it's stupid expensive. And so he's working really hard because he wants to be able to pay for that back surgery. It's a great why. He wants to bless the rest of his life. Lance is young. He wants to feel good forever. Okay, that's awesome. His goal is probably some number. I don't even know what Lance's goal is. But the more important reason behind it is, hey, he needs to pay for this back surgery. And that's why he's working hard. And he's established. So let me reiterate because I've been a little bit of all over. Competition is great. Goals are great. If your competition or your goal becomes an anchor that's dragging you down and making you feel like, oh, I don't work, they cease to be great. Understand that the reason behind the goal, the earnings behind the goal, the development behind the benchmark is the most important part. Identify habits, routines, systems, behaviors that will help you reach that goal, that will help you reach that accolade, that milestone, that will help you win the competition, and focus on those inputs. If you can do that, you're going to go places. Now, here's the story that relates to this message that I've been sharing, calling this the story of the stonecutter. So, stonecutter, okay, a sculptor. He's sculpting. I like to think it's a big, muscular version of maybe David, a guy who's a little more jacked. And so he's just chiseling away at this rock. And it's taken 100 strokes to really make a difference. You're not breaking the rock immediately, especially early on when it's a big block or a big cube or whatever it is that they start out with. Like early on, it's not like you're knocking off giant pieces and it's looking like a a, a figure right away. Okay, early on, it's pretty like mundane. Um, it's pretty repetitive. It might even feel pointless. And the story goes that there's this really experienced, really, world-renowned sculptor. And he has this apprentice come in, and the guy knows nothing about sculpting, but apparently he wants to become a sculptor. And he's watching and observing, and he's like, man, you're having to hit it like 50 to 100 times before you ever break off a piece of rock. Isn't that annoying? Like you're barely doing anything on 50 to 100 shots. And the sculptor says, "Well, yes, but I understand that after 50 to 100, taps and hits, I get a crack." And the crack is what eventually turns into that piece of the rock breaking off and kind of shaping my sculptor. She says, I'm not focused on the 50 to 100 hits. I'm focused on the crack forming. And then once the crack forms, I understand that my figure is just that much closer. And he goes, I'm not looking at this as like, hey, I'm going to finish this project today. Because I'm looking at it as, by this month's end, I need to have the head roughly shaped out. By next month's end, I need to have the shoulders and the body. By the month after that, the leg. Like this is a 1 year commitment for me. But I can show up every day and I can swing this chisel because I know that the end result is what I want. And every day I'm taking steps forward. And whether the crack takes 200 hits, 100 hits, or 500 hits, I know that it's going to come. And I know that the end result is on the horizon. Okay. And I wanted to relate this to a lot of you guys, okay? We have sales reps come out, and after 1 week, if they're not selling at the same level as Andrew Myers, they're feeling frustrated and discouraged. After 2 weeks, if they're not, and I'm exaggerating, but they expect to be as good as everyone else on the team after 1 week. After 2 weeks, if they're not as good as the top rookie, they're feeling frustrated and something must be wrong with me. We have team leaders who 1 year in, they're like, dude, I'm not good at leading the team. I had 5 sales reps quit already. The team's not, not motivated. They're not disciplined. They're not, you know, this is frustrating and da 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 da. We have sales reps who they don't see the sculpture taking shape almost immediately. And to them, it means that something's wrong. And guys, I want to relate a couple other things as I was thinking about this before. A lot of you are students. Okay, you did 12 years of public education or private education, but first grade to 12th grade. You did 12 years to learn, to get a degree. A lot of you are going to college. You don't go to college and immediately expect a degree. It doesn't happen. Okay. In fact, you don't even really learn very much at college. Your whole first week, you're doing syllabuses, you're just barely getting into things. Your first month is pretty minimal. Okay. I did 5 years of college. I can speak as an expert on this subject. Um, you think of trades. People don't learn to be an electrician overnight. They become an apprentice and then like upgraded apprentice. I don't know the terminology. I should look up the terminology. Plumbers, people don't learn advanced plumbing after their first, 3 weeks on the job. You look at influencers. You guys see these videos, TikTok, YouTube. That's really big right now, especially amongst the younger generations. These people don't build a gigantic, super loyal following and brand after 1 month of posting. It takes years. And the authentic, real ones share that story. And the story is inspiring because they continue to show up day in and day out for years, even when no one was watching. Stradman is like obviously become a good friend of mine, and his story is so cool. He was willing to risk it all and post for days and months and weeks with no one watching and no one caring. At one point, he literally lived in a car and was filming other cars just out of love of cars and hopes that at some point it might take off. And eventually it did. And now he's known throughout the entire United States and world and making millions of dollars and living the dream. But the beautiful part of the story isn't that he made it. It's that he was willing to continue to show up even when the result wasn't guaranteed because he loved it and he believed that it was possible. Okay? You look at all the people selling courses on social media. Okay. Real estate courses and day trading courses is a really big one, and Forex trading courses and all these courses. And guys, you'll pay for a course, but you won't take advantage of the training and the opportunity and the environment and the culture. You won't buy in and go all in. Okay. And this is a classic one too. And again, no hate. We've all been here, myself included. You'll flex the one sale that you got today on Instagram and then spend the rest of the afternoon, scrolling through reels, but you won't just lock in, sacrifice a little bit and figure out how to get 2, 3, 4, 5 sales and actually get ahead. Like, guys, think of this like a sculptor. Okay. You're not going to be the best version of yourself today. You're not going to be the best salesman tomorrow. You're not. It's not going to happen. It doesn't happen to anyone. First year team leaders, you're not going to be the best team leader this year. It's not going to happen. You're not going to hit regional year one. You're not. You're not going to hit divisional year one. Probably not. Okay. It's nearly impossible. I've done this job for 12 years. You look at guys like Colby and Jeff, they're at double-digit years. You look at guys like Mark, Ryan, Andrew, they're 5+ years, 7, 8 years. McKenna, she's done this for a long time. Easton's done this for a long time. The people who are the best at this job, they're not the best because they're just a prodigy that figured it out. They're the best because they understood if I hit right here 100 times, there's going to be a crack. So I'm going to hit it 100 times. And if it takes 1,000, I'm going to keep showing up. Don't be short-sighted in this job. Have vision. You're willing to go to college for 4 years to maybe get a degree and appreciate that career. Okay. I look at like accountants or dental school. I have a buddy who I took a ton of pre-med classes with, pre-dental classes, and we were good. At one point, I was on the dean's list. My friend is still in school. And I'm like, dude, he doesn't even know if he's gonna like it. Like, that is the scariest thought in the world. But he's been willing to show up for 10 years doing these classes and training and studying. And obviously, he's kind of had some direction along the way and he sampled a few other things. And I'm sure he's going to love it. But you hear stories of all the time of people who study like a pre-med degree and then they go and get into med school and they're like, I hate this and I never want to be a doctor. That's crazy. Okay. Give this job some time. Give this job the um the intention, the effort, the sincere commitment that it requires to get good at it. Train, study, develop. You are all sculptors. And the person you're becoming, the salesperson that you're becoming, is the masterpiece. Maybe some weeks you only break off one chunk and you're like, oh, that was a hard week. But it's a step in the right direction. And every day you get a little bit better. Every week you get a little bit better. Every month you get a little bit better. Some months don't feel like it, but trust me, you are. Every year you get a little bit better. Favorite saying of mine, I've said it before, I'll say it 100 more times. Don't overestimate the results that you'll get in one day. And definitely don't underestimate the results that you'll get after 100. Okay? Everyone in the world, they overestimate what happens in 1 year. They underestimate what happens in 5. My life, this job, my real estate portfolio, my relationship with my wife, I could tell stories about all those. And just like everyone else, I overestimated the results after one good year, and I really underestimated the results after 5 years of consistent effort, of discipline, of hard work, of showing up, of saying yes, of doing my best. It's like that with everything. Okay, again, one of my goals is to make all of us great people, learn life lessons. That applies to everything. It applies to school. If you're going to school, amazing. Show up for 5 years. If you're starting a business, amazing. Show up every day consistently. You'll be blown away. If you are working on your relationship with your parents, with your kids, with your siblings, with God, whatever it is, it takes consistency. Don't overestimate the results after one day. Don't underestimate the results after 100. Don't overestimate what happens in 1 year. Don't underestimate what can happen in 5. Guys, I love this job. I love each of you. I'm going to keep showing up every single day. I promise you guys, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to fight. I want us to win. Let's get better. Let's inch closer to our goals. Let's remember the bigger why behind the goals. My goal for the partnership is $40 million this summer. I would love that. But guess what? I don't really control that. There's 250 plus of us knocking every single day. I can't control 250 of you. The only thing that I can do is show up and do my best. And at night, I sleep sound because I know that I show up. I know that I did my best. And if we get to 40 million, awesome. And if we don't, it's all going to shake out and I'm going to try again next year. Let's keep fighting. Let's keep chasing it down. Let's get it. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in.